Good morning, everyone. This Thursday morning, July the 30th, 2026. How's everyone doing out there? I hope everyone is great, feeling great, doing great, and highly favored and blessed. I know it's been a minute since I've been on here, so I just, I, I had to get up this morning. It's in the wee hours of the morning, and I had to get up and honor God and have a talk with Him. So while I'm up, and I finished doing giving honor to God, um, I decided that I needed to get on, pop on, and have a word, do a word, give a word, if you may say that. And my podcast today is entitled Access Denied. A lot of times, and I'm seeing it and I'm feeling it. People want access to you because of what you're doing. There's a light that shines with you. Um, there's something about you that they want to be like you. They want to compete with you. They want to do what you do, but they don't want to sacrifice what it takes to sacrifice to get to where you're going. But they just want the glow up and the glory as if they're competing with you. You know, I said in a couple of videos prior to this one to move in silence. And, I've moved in silence and I'm moving in silence, because people will try to stand in your way, will stand in the way of progress. They'll try to stand in your way to prevent you from reaching your goals or your destiny. Um, I also um is I said things about moving in silence, but I also want to reiterate the fact that um, a lot of times you have to test the waters. People that claim they for you are not always there for you. People that claim they love you don't always love you. They just want access to you. They want to know what you're doing. They want to know how they can use and manipulate you to do what they want to do to get the best outcomes for them. Basically, there has been some events that have happened in my family. There's been some events that have happened on certain things, my job and stuff. And now that I look back on them, you know, I have given myself to people. I have given myself to people to be helpful, giving myself to people for friendships, giving myself to people to try and, you know, network or build a rapport. And I'm still going to network. I'm still going to build a rapport. But maybe they were just the wrong people that I was dealing with. So to them, access denied. Um, there's certain family members that, that like to compete or like to copycat what you do or just like to listen to hear what you're going to say so they can talk about it. They're not going to like everything you say. They're going to pretend like they don't hear you or they don't see you when you do something positive. But they don't miss a beat because they want to hear and do what you do but hate on you at the same time. To them, I say access denied. You have coworkers who want to, you think your coworkers, it used to be a time I wanted to build a rapport with my coworkers and everything because, teamwork is a better option. I still believe in teamwork, but I'm starting to feel like, you know, you want to work as a team, but at the same time, you know, your coworkers are your coworkers. And you better believe there's a lot of office politics in the office. And if you give them the access, they'll try to use that access to outstep you in their career paths and their career moves and their career strategies. Nothing personal. They just do it for them, for their own sakes, for their own self, for their own well-being, you know. But like I said, access denied. So I'm saying all this to say, you know, to the people who mean me well, to the people who mean great things for me, you know, God always have a hand and a plan in helping me to sit back and watch how people operate and how people do. You know, yeah, you have to sit back and watch and see. And a lot of times, you know, people hide behind other faces to try to throw you off. But again, I say, with all clarity and honesty, even if they're trying to get in your business, access denied. You know, people don't need to be in your inner circle who don't mean you well. You know, you don't know the conversations that are being had behind your back. You don't know the conversations that people have been praying against you for. You know, they're in your face. Oh, girl, yeah. I'm wishing you well. I hope everything works out. But behind your back, they praying for your downfall. Well, access denied. You know, God will reveal to you people's true intentions. All you got to do is sit back and watch. You can sense it. You can feel it. You can see it. Access denied. That's basically what my podcast has been about today. Access denied. Because the more you make yourself available to people who don't mean you well, the more they try to throw you down, push you down, you know. And here's a little storyteller. I had wanted to move at one time in my life, you know, but sometimes what you want to do don't always happen the way you want it to happen. You know, in due time, God gets the honor and the glory and the praise, and He will help direct your path. So, in a way, you know, God will direct your path and lead you and guide you as to what your next moves are. So, you know, with that being said, you know, you got to wait on God. God, you know, and actively do. When He talks to you, when He tells you, when He give you ideas, you got to actively do what He tells you to do, you know. But to those that like to hear people's business, trying to block them or trying to figure out what's going on with them, access denied. People that I thought that could help me, sometimes strangers will help you quicker than your own blood, than your own friends, than your own family. Again, I welcome the people that mean me well. I welcome the people who want to see me grow. And to the others, access denied. Have a great rest of the morning.